Republicans are expected to unveil their plan today for another coronavirus stimulus bill. Senior congressional correspondent Mary Bruce is in Washington with the details on that.
Diane, good morning. Well, Republicans are putting the finishing touches this morning on their plan for the next coronavirus relief bill. It would provide another round of those popular $1,200 stimulus checks and $105 billion for schools and $16 billion for testing and contact tracing. But the big sticking point here has been these $600 weekly payments going to help unemployed Americans make ends meet, which expired this past weekend. Now, many Americans felt that amount was simply too high. They say it discouraged people from going back to work. So now Republicans want to reduce that check to $200, and that could have a very real impact on the roughly 30 million Americans relying on this money. Now remember, this is just the Republican plan. It's a jumping off point for negotiations with Democrats, and the two parties here are far apart on many of the issues. Diane, it's likely to take several weeks before we see a final deal here.
All right, Mary Bruce for us on Capitol Hill. And now we want to head over to Rebecca Jarvis, our chief business correspondent. Rebecca, what happens to those checks in the meantime and the people who are kind of relying on them?
Well, Diane, a number of Americans received their last $600 check this last weekend. If the plan is not extended, then it officially expires as of July 31st, later this week. What people should know out there, if you are currently collecting unemployment insurance, is that your unemployment insurance will still be in place from your state, but this federal assistance, which has been in place as a result of the CARES Act since March, will no longer exist. And it's important for people to keep in mind, if they are struggling right now and if they're concerned about what not having that $600 in their pocket will mean for themselves and their families, there are alternatives. There are places that people should be thinking about going now before the end of the program. For example, you can call the number on your cell phone right now, 211. That will connect you with an individual who can walk you through additional pandemic assistance programs and additional programs for families and individuals who are struggling to make their bill payments and cover their family's food.
Rebecca, the debate over this seems to be that some people need this money in order to put food on the table, and others saying that it's too much money and it's keeping people from going back to work. So depending on how this deal plays out, how is this all expected to affect the overall economy?
Well, something that people can be thinking about here is our role as consumers in the U.S. economy. Our spending, consumer spending, accounts for 70% of our economic growth. If consumers don't have money in their pocket, they don't have money to spend. In turn, we don't have growth. So when you think about what 30 million unemployed Americans without as much money in their pocket means for the economy, it means that they are spending less money. That can have a ripple effect on other jobs as well. So in this debate, as we think about what that money means, it isn't just money for the people who are very clearly struggling. It is also a generator of growth for our economy. And given that we have now spent upwards of $3 trillion to help through the pandemic crisis, it's very important, number one, that our economy has growth going forward, because growth is the one thing that will ultimately put people back to work. Diane?
All right, Rebecca Jarvis for us. Thanks, Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.